When teenagers have someone that they need to talk to or having just a conversation to help figure some things out at home or at school, RAP Saskatoon is a place that they can turn to. We have Kent Smith-Windsor with us. Thanks for coming down to the studio.
Thanks, Randy, for the opportunity.
I want to talk about RAP and what it is, how people can learn more about it.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the first thing I do is suggest they go to rapsaskatoon.org. It's our website. It gives a good explanation around the program. And really what it's designed for is high school students that find themselves in a situation of conflict. That could be physical, or it could be cyber or bullying or those kinds of things. And when you're either the perpetrator or the victim of that kind of activity, you have a tendency to panic. And so having a facilitator, which we have in 11 of the high schools in Saskatoon, to be able to help them guide their way through in a more positive way. So if a person finds themselves victimized of that kind of conflict, gives them tools to deal with it in a more productive manner than to turn inward, or perhaps mental health issues that could arise from that. Or in the case of somebody who might be perpetrating an attack on someone, either virtually or physically, before they get involved with the law and things like that could really lead them down a difficult path. We have facilitators in these 11 high schools that can help give young people tools to deal with conflict in a more proactive and positive manner as compared to the things that they might do otherwise.
I think it's a fair comment to make that when we went to school in high school, we had our issues, but we can't really relate to some of the electronic and digital and other media that are obvious challenges that we face. And it's RAP, not W-R-A-P, it's R-A-P.
R-A-P, RAP. And it's a bit of play on that word, but it's about restorative action. So if somebody finds themselves in a kind of situation, as it be it physical or cyberbullying or things like that, how do they go about a situation where they can get to a more positive situation? That's really where the restorative piece comes in. And our facilitators are trained in conflict management to help give these young people tools to deal with it. But you're right. I had an occasion to talk to one of our partners with one of the school systems, and they were talking about having to intervene in a prospective fight amongst two people that had never met each other. It was all done virtually via texts and the like, that I don't like you, you don't like me, we're going to go have a fight. And many people knew about it, yet when they were able to find the young people and intervene, the two young people had never met.
Isn't that awkward?
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
So how do you help a young person when they're dealing with that? They may or may not have a support system either at their home or amongst their friends to be able to guide them to a more positive outcome. And so one can imagine either the victim of that kind of violence not knowing what to do, perhaps retaliating in some way, or perhaps even worse yet, not going to school. Or in the case of somebody who might think that that kind of behavior is the only option that they have, find themselves pushed out of school, or perhaps even worse, so that they find themselves in a situation where they will have a very difficult time recovering throughout their life. So that's really what our facilitators do, is to help sit those young people down. Sometimes they can't resolve the conflict, but they can certainly give the young people tools to deal with a situation like that in a more productive way. The program was founded about 20 years ago, with great leadership of Rotary clubs in Saskatoon. They funded a pilot program in one of the high schools about 20 years ago to deal with situations of violence in that high school. And it's been so successful that both of the school systems quickly responded and said, yes, we want to partner with you. So they co-fund our facilitators in each of the schools. It helps the teachers focus on the classroom and ensures that the young person's dealt with in terms of the way they're having needs. Over the years, we've been able to get the City of Saskatoon, and more particularly the Saskatoon Police Service, to put some financial resources to us, but also importantly at our board table. They're there, and they've been very loyal attendees along with the two school systems. And more recently, the provincial government through social services and justice have provided funding support to allow us to expand the program in Saskatoon. You know, as many as 1 in 5 young people in a high school today find themselves in need of RAP support. And it's a staggering number. We get inquiries from communities all across province, across the country for that matter, because it is quite unique, to try and find a situation where they might be able to offer services similar to what we're offering in Saskatoon. We've got aspirations to be able to expand across all of the high schools in Saskatoon. We've got 11 of 16 covered, and we'd love to expand. So we have to raise funds to support the work of the Rotary, and we've had amazing individuals that have come forward and put money into the table so that we can make sure that we've got the resources that we need for these young people who are crying out for help, that there's somebody there for them.
I can't imagine the numbers that translates into 11 schools. That's got to be in the thousands of kids.
Well, there's about 10,000
So,
students in that area. What is sobering is that as many as 2,000 of those need to access RAP support. And we're glad we're there for them, but it does sort of highlight the kinds of conflict that young people are facing today in ways that an old fellow with a very big forehead like me can't relate to, other than the fact that we know these young people need help.
So let's take an example, someone watching this show, you and I, both parents, grandparents.
Yeah.
What could we offer if we see some symptoms or signals that from our kids that they might need some attention like that?
Well, if the young person is not open to talking to you, the nice thing about the RAP facilitators, they're in the high schools. They're in the young person's corner. They've got a high level of trust amongst the high schoolers. We know that because now many of our referrals come from other students. Say you ought to talk to little Johnny or little Susie about the situation they're running into. Their doors are always open. They're able to have a good, frank, and quiet conversation about the situation and identify services in the city that might be able to help that young person in their given situation, or provide them with coping skills or tools to deal with conflict in a more positive manner than what they're dealing with. So fortunately, we've got these facilitators in the schools, and they're there. And they reach out to young people in grade 9, so they know about them, and we know that we're getting references. But if an adult, a grandparent, or a parent says, "I think I've got some challenges," and the young person can't talk to you, and say, "Well, reach out to the RAP facilitator." They maybe can relate a little more temporally in terms of what problems you're dealing with as compared to what I used to do in the olden days. And that kind of thing can be very helpful for a young person.
So when you say a young person, is there like a 12 to 18-year-old?
It's high school attendees. Yeah. And really the restorative action deals with a young person that might have behaviors that could potentially leave them in a situation where they're exiting school, to give them tools to get back in school. Because we all know that a young person not completing high school has put themselves at a severe disadvantage into the future. So, but if you don't feel safe, or you feel attacked, or you feel that you're not being heard in high school, there's a temptation to just walk away from it and deal with the consequences later, and those consequences can be severe. So the facilitator can help them cool off, deal with their situation, help them analyze it, and say, are there other ways you could go about your problem that wouldn't lead to a situation there where you're harming yourself or someone else.
Exactly. And you mentioned the Saskatoon Police Services partners
Right.
that are taking part with you.
They fund
Right.
and are on our board. I'm amazed at the commitment from both of the school boards and the police to regularly find time. I'm just a board volunteer, and I believe in what we're trying to do. But they are pulled in 1,000 different directions. The fact that they can find time to be at our board table and help us
It's
through
important.
these situations.
Yeah.
And that's really what the key of this is that we've got now the province has made significant contributions to us, the city and the school boards, all of them talking together. I think that most people would think that's a good thing right now.
Yeah.
And it was really fostered through the leadership of the Rotary. Now we've grown a little beyond that, and we require funding to put our portion of the money into helping staff the facilitators in each of the high schools. And so we depend on donation support. RAP Saskatoon .org is the website that can tell people about that, tell people about the program, but also recognize some of the funders that have helped us along the way and some of the fundraising efforts we do each year.
And just close us out with the Badge, Shield, and Star Dinner. It's an annual event, but we have that to look forward to as well.
Right, that's coming up on April the 24th, Wednesday, April 24th. It's been going on for many, many years. Rotary, in their steadfast commitment to RAP Saskatoon, had a traditional program of recognizing first responders in the community. And they wanted RAP Saskatoon to succeed to the extent that they literally conveyed the program of Rotary Badge, Shield, and Star to RAP Saskatoon to be our major community-based fundraiser. And so that's an event each year that not only funds RAP, but also recognizes first responders that find themselves in difficult situations, and when you're in trouble, who you're going to call? You're going to call a first responder, be it a paramedic or a fire service or police service. We've added air ambulance this year, which is a pretty important thing. And so a chance for us to salute our first responders too.
Wonderful. I want to thank you, Past Chair Jack Brodsky. Congratulations on your role. We'll see you at the event, and good luck with RAP.
Look forward to it. Thank you so much.
That's our show for today. I'd like to thank our guest, Corrine Dalick from the Western Development Museum, as well as Kent Smith-Windsor with RAP Saskatoon. I'm your host, Randy Shabilo. We'll see you next time on Connect.